Hi everyone, it's Miss Lisa from the library, and today I'm going to teach you different ways to dye Easter eggs. Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you different ways to dye Easter eggs. I usually buy a kit from the store. However, this year I learned there are many different ways to dye them. For all of these experiments, you're going to make sure you have a hard-boiled egg. But first, let's talk about the science behind dyeing eggs. Eggshells are made from calcium carbonate, and the calcium in the eggshell reacts to the acid in the vinegar to make carbon dioxide. This reaction starts the breakdown of the shell, which exposes the shell so you can have the color adhere to it. Your coloring can come from synthetic dyes, which you can buy at the store, which is your food coloring, or there are natural ways you can get your food dyes. Some natural ways to dye your eggs are by boiling down different vegetables. The first thing you can do, like this is red or yellow cabbage, gives you a blue color. Ground turmeric gives you a yellow color. Yellow onions, skins, gives you an orange color, and beets gives you a pink color. Now there are many other foods that you can use. These are just a few of them, and you can also try experimenting with white eggs versus brown eggs. The first way I'm going to show you how to dye eggs is using Sharpie markers, rubbing alcohol, eyedroppers, and again, very important, your hard-boiled egg. One thing that is extremely important to know about this egg dyeing experiment is you absolutely cannot eat the eggs because it will have the alcohol on them. You cannot eat it because it will permeate the shell. So the very first thing you're going to do is take your hard-boiled egg. It helps if these ones are room temperature, and since you're not eating them, it doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about them being out on your counter. And you're going to color them with Sharpie. And you can see I've already started coloring mine, and you want to cover the entire surface area with your permanent marker. Now I will tell you that metallic markers don't work very well, so you're going to want to stick to your bold colors, and you're going to color the entire egg with your Sharpie marker. And you can do patterns, you can do all sorts of different things. Get creative here. Oopsies. My egg's rolling away. I recommend putting down a paper towel so that you don't get the marker all over the surface. Now, what you're going to do is open your alcohol, rubbing alcohol. Mine is 91% isopropyl alcohol. You can use the 70% as well. And you're just going to put a little bit in your eyedropper. And the important part is you're just going to put it one drop at a time. You don't want to squeeze it all on there, just one little drop at a time. And as you can see, the alcohol is starting to dissolve the Sharpie marker because it breaks it down. And when it does that, you can see like right here, it's giving it this beautiful tie-dye effect. So this is how you can make tie-dye eggs. And this is why it's important to use as much coloring as possible so that you have more colors that will tie-dye together. Now, remember, you absolutely do not want to eat this egg. So here's some other ones that you can see. There's different patterns you can write on there. You can do light colors and dark colors. And this is a way you can use Sharpie markers to dye Easter eggs. Now I'm going to show you how to use Kool-Aid to dye your Easter eggs. One thing I like about this is it smells really good while you're dyeing your Easter eggs. For this experiment, you are going to need a measuring cup for 2/3 measuring, water, cups, hard-boiled eggs, Kool-Aid, and a fork or spoon to mix with. The first thing you're going to do is fill each of your cups. You can see I've already done 2. You're going to fill each of your cups to the 2/3 mark on your measuring cup of water. And you're going to pour it in your cup. And then you are going to add your Kool-Aid. I like to shake mine down and get all the powder down to the bottom. You pour your Kool-Aid in, and it smells so good while you're doing it, and you're going to mix it together. Now, what you're going to want to do is take your egg and tilt the cup to the side and gently place your egg in there, because if you plop it in there too fast, it will break. We're going to do our orange one. Now, for this experiment, I do not recommend using lemonade because it is too light of a color and it will not really dye your egg very well. And I don't recommend using grape because it just comes out gray. Unless that's the color you're going for, then by all means use grape. So for today, I used lemon lime, orange, and blue raspberry lemonade. So we'll see how those colors work out. Now, if you notice, I did not add vinegar to my solution. It's just water and Kool-Aid. And that is because when you add vinegar, it helps give you that dark, vibrant color when you dye your eggs. Now you're asking yourself why I don't have vinegar in here, and it is because, if you remember, vinegar is an acid, and the very first ingredient in Kool-Aid is citric acid. So the acid is already in your Kool-Aid, and that is what's going to give it your bright, vibrant colors. Now here comes the hard part. You have to wait 3 minutes or more. I waited 3 minutes for my eggs when I did it. So in 3 minutes, we will come back and see how our eggs have turned out. Okay, it has been 3 minutes, and let's see how our eggs are doing. But one thing I wanted to point out first is how, do you see on this shell of this egg down here in the cup, there's all these tiny little bubbles on there? That is the citric acid breaking down the calcium shell of the egg, which is allowing this green color to adhere to the egg. Remember, that's how the vinegar works as well, because the vinegar is an acid. So let's see, let's pull out our eggs. This one is at 3 minutes. And this one, you can kind of see the bubbles on the shell as I'm pulling it out. So there's our green egg. I like to wipe my fork or spoon in between so that I don't get that other color on my new egg. Here's our orange egg. Look at that bright, bright orange color. So pretty. And let's go for the blue egg now. This kind of looks like a robin's egg. And it smells really good when you bring it out. So there you go. You can use Kool-Aid to dye your Easter eggs. For our last experiment, I'm going to show you an excellent volcano. For this experiment, you will need a fork or a spoon. I prefer a fork for this one. 1/3 measuring cup, clear cups, food dye, baking soda, 1/2 tablespoon, and vinegar. So the first thing you're going to do is make sure you have a deep dish, okay? And then you're going to set your cups up in your dish, and you're going to put 1/2 tablespoon of baking soda in each cup. Okay. I've already done the other 2 cups. And then you're going to take your food coloring, and you're going to put 5 to 6 drops of food coloring in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops. And make sure you put your cap back on. Then you're going to take, I found a fork works better, and you're going to mix the food dye with the baking soda until it's all mixed in together. So I have blue, green, yellowish, and red. Now, you're going to need your eggs. I forgot the very important part of eggs. You're going to put 1 egg into each cup. Gently, because you don't want to crack them. And then, you have to be quick at this part. You need 1/3 cup of vinegar for each cup. And you're going to want to do it really quickly, okay? Can you guess what's going to happen? You ready? All right, and if you remember from our other Explore from Home videos, the baking soda, which is the base, is mixing with the vinegar, which is the acid, and is creating carbon dioxide gas bubbles. So that's what you see floating in there, and that is what creates the eruption. And if you listen, you can hear it. And it looks really pretty in your tray and nice and spring-like. Now, here comes the super hard part. You have to wait 10 minutes for your eggs to dye these bright, vibrant colors. And we will be back in 10 minutes to see how it looks. Okay, it has been 10 minutes. Let's see how our eggs turned out. Now let's remember, at the bottom of the cup is all of the baking soda, and the vinegar is still sitting in there. And you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's still some bubbles in the cup. All right, so when you pull out your egg, if you will notice, the bottom of the egg is really dark, and that's what was sitting in that concentrated liquid in the bottom of the cup, and that's where the eruption first happened. And as you get closer to the top, there's less liquid. And I remember, wipe your fork or spoon off in between, otherwise the color will transfer in your fingers. Here's now you can notice our green one did not turn out super, super green. And our blue one, I don't know if you can see, there's little white dots on the top where the dye did not adhere to it. And there is your blue egg. I hope you enjoyed these different ways to dye Easter eggs, and I hope you enjoy dyeing eggs at your home. Remember to check out the library for all sorts of science resources that we have. Have a great day. Bye!